Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon for December 17th, 2018. With your hosts, Peace 248 and Ramp Epsilon.
Hi.
You know, I didn't realize till I looked at a calendar. This is the second to last show of the year.
Uh-huh.
Which, wow, it is almost next year.
I believe, too, this is going to be well, this should be the last SWO tour we got to do on Tuesdays.
I was about to say, it should be one of the last SWO tours we're doing. Because we're not that far from the end. Probably be finishing up like the first couple of weeks in the next year.
Maybe.
Depends on if the game decides to level gate us as fucking hard as it did like the last couple of weeks. For whatever stupid reason.
Or, you know, if elevators are dumb.
Okay, that we just have to expect is gonna happen because it's fucking SWO tour.
Okay. But that actually kind of amplified the level gate.
Yeah. God damn it.
I'm still planning on running off every elevator. Just to prove a point. We have had one this entire playthrough. One that was at the right position.
As far as I know, that is the majority opinion about SWO tour when it comes to elevators, that they're the literal spawn of the devil himself. They are literally the worst thing in the world.
It wouldn't be bad if they started their cycle at the bottom so they got to the top when you were there. No, they start their cycle at the top, so when you enter the instance, guess what? It's at the bottom by the time you get there. It's like, what? It's easy, just change the start point. All you gotta do.
Well, the good news is, the articles haven't changed even though we're like 2 days late. Outside of, oh, by the way, there's a kind of spoilery Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer that might have shown what I am going to assume is the last world of the game. Like, just knowing how Kingdom Hearts works, I'm willing to bet that's the last world of the game. So, yeah, that's out in the world now. Don't worry, folks. I won't be streaming it because I'll just be playing it on my own because, I would like to enjoy the nonsense story of Kingdom Hearts 3 without someone coming in and going, by the way, blah 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 blah, spoilers, blah 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 blah. You know, before I have to smack him on the head with a goddamn band hammer. Because, you know, nobody likes that bullshit. Nobody. Why you gotta be a dick?
Well, someone likes it. Otherwise, it wouldn't get done.
Yeah. But before we get into I say short list because it looks like a short list until you click on the first article and it's like, oh yeah, the Game Awards happened and a whole bunch of shit got announced. Tell me, what have you been playing the last couple weeks-ish? Slightly more than a couple weeks, technically.
Not really all that much. I think about the only thing is I've gotten to play a little bit of Tropical Freeze.
I saw Spike was streaming that earlier, before we went live.
I wound up getting the Wii U one first because, you know, cheaper kind of deal. And I'm like, I want to make sure I would be fully committed to it first. I think once they get the hang of it, it would be fine. It's one of those that's like, I'm having an issue with keeping the buttons in the correct order sometimes, and it's getting me killed, so it's like, yeah, that's expected.
Well, I believe the Sun Country Returns games are not that forgiving on its difficulty, especially in later levels. It will whoop your monkey ass if you're not ready.
Quite literally.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, outside of that, I've not really played anything.
Well, there's Smash, and in Smash, and in more Smash, and I'll be honest, I've just been playing Smash. Like, I have beaten World of Light, I've gotten the true ending of it, I haven't done the two alternate endings you can get. I think I've completed like 90% of it in terms of all the fights that are available, or the spirit fights that are available in the game, in map mode. Which, by the way, those are repeated through Spirit Board. So, if you want to get a copy of one of those spirits to release their core and use that to summon another spirit, you just have to wait for it to pop up on the Spirit Board. Which, considering those are on 5-minute cycles, that you don't have to wait that long. You could probably do 3 fights, and then the board's like it's a brand new board when you come out of that 3rd fight. Honestly, I wish World of Light had more character interactions, because you want to guess how many cutscenes there are?
How many?
4! You've already seen one of them. It's the opening.
Oh, wow.
The other 3 are the 3 endings. There isn't any more cutscenes. But you do get a lot of boss fights in like a 30-minute, I think it was 30-minute long, like final boss rush-esque fight that was pretty intense, just because of the length of it. Because it's like, okay, fight your way up this tower while dealing with enemies that are attacking each other in you at the same time. Alright, now fight every boss in the game you fought so far in a row. Okay, now fight the 2 final bosses that you fought so far at the same time, as they try to kill each other in you in the process. Like, it is pretty intense, and I was on the standard difficulty. I can't imagine how bad that fight is on hard. Like, I have to think it is kind of nightmarish. Good news is, you get to come in with 3 characters. Bad news, they have about a stock apiece. So it's literally, oh, you lost your first character. Hope you're good with your second and third characters. But I just wish there was more character interactions in World of Light, and maybe a few less spirit fights. It's the last map is kind of tedious because there is just a shit ton of spirit fights between you and the ending. I think I had to fight. I did have to do 14, or no, not 14. I wouldn't think of 14. Like 10 or 12 fights in between the start of the 3rd map and the end of the 3rd map. Like, I had to do quite a number of fights at the end. Some of them really powerful enemies, because they were like legend class spirits that I had to do, which means they're about like a 7, 8, or like kind of I'd say an 8 or 9 on the difficulty. When it comes to the Smash AI difficulty, they're about in that range. Yeah, I think we're like, I really like what they've done with classic mode. I wish the race to the finish little mini game that breaks up your first round of fights and the final boss was a bit more varied depending on the character. Mainly because I kind of just have a route down and I can average about 100,000 points on it every time, no matter what character I'm using. I do like that all the classic modes are theme, and also like the final bosses are pretty varied. Like Mario will have Bowser that transforms into Giga Bowser, and so will Captain Falcon. But Jigglypuff has Donkey Kong as her final boss.
Huh.
And like a couple characters have Master Hand. I think one character I played had Crazy Hand as their final boss. Just Crazy Hand. Not Master Hand and Crazy Hand. No, just Crazy Hand. Dracula's been a final boss for... I believe he's the final boss for both of the Belmonts, but there was somebody else he was the final boss with that I beat with. Fuck, who was it? I don't remember. But I beat Dracula with... Oh, Luigi! Luigi has Dracula as his final boss. Which is kind of hilarious. Because I was like, who was it? Oh, right, it was Luigi, because he has this weird jump height, because you have to smack Dracula in the face to damage him in his first form. And Luigi in his jump height it's really hard to get him to, like, line up with a head for a hit. So it's like, ugh. Now, because I was struggling with that part. Yeah, I like that they've done this with classic mode. It just makes every classic mode run feel a little different and not kind of monotonous, especially since you have to go through 74 of them, because there's 1,292 spirits in the game. The fun thing is, about 100 of those are fighter spirits that I believe you unlock by beating classic mode, and sometimes with multiple characters under certain conditions. Like Mario, I believe, has 3 fighter spirits. He's got a regular one for regular Mario. He has a wedding one, and I think he either has the Mario Maker one, which I'm not sure on because I played his classic mode with his Mario Maker costume and it didn't work, or the USA costume he has. One of those two. I'm not sure which.
Huh.
Cloud has 2 fighter spirits, one for each of his costumes. All of the Koopalings have their own fighter spirit, so Bowser Jr. plus the rest of them. They are basically an entire row on the category list. Who else? I think Pokemon Trainer has like 5 connected to him, because he has 1 for the male trainer, 1 for the female trainer, and then 3 for the Pokemon. Because bear in mind, 100 fighter spirits, there's only 74 fighters here. Yeah, some people have multiples, and I think you can either only get them through the shop, and they have to just pop up there randomly, or you have to be classic mode. With maybe some condition on them, I'm not sure. I haven't figured out that part yet. So again, that's nice. And I even got my 9.9 run with Link, which I got lucky. Because okay, here's the thing about the difficulty meter. You can bump the difficulty up to 5.0 at a max to start with. And depending on how you do the rest of the time you're playing the classic mode, it will bump up accordingly. Like, it can bump up like 0.3 or 0.7 or an entire point if you're doing really good in the fights. Like, if you're getting it perfect. Because you can get it perfect and get extra score points on that, which is kind of cool. But wherever you end classic mode at, that's your final difficulty. I managed to come into Ganon, which is another boss. It's the Ganon that Ganondorf turns into for his final smash. Well, the current Ganondorf, not Twilight Princess Ganondorf from the last game. That boss fight sucks because you can only hit him in tail, and he is squirrely as fuck sometimes. I hate it.
Huh.
It's the worst. I had to burn 3 classic mode tickets, which, okay. But yeah, the difficulty can go up. I managed to go into that boss fight with a 9.9 difficulty. Here's the thing. If you game over, or if you get knocked out in a fight, you can either continue with gold, which will be a certain price depending on where you are and what your difficulty meter is, or you can spend a classic mode ticket. Now, if you spend gold, your difficulty meter is going down. If you spend a ticket, no change. But I either way it happens, you won't get as much of an increase in difficulty coming out of the fight. Which fucked me over because I was at 9.8 and the meter didn't go up after I come out of the Ganon fight, even though I used tickets. Which meant I shouldn't have lost my difficulty. Or my current meter. But the other thing about the classic mode tickets, if you spend one before you start your classic mode run, you get bonus rewards at the end of the run. Because you know how the credit sequences have always been kind of shooter, like interactive moments?
Yeah.
Would you like to get like 5 extra rewards at the end of your classic mode runs?
Huh.
Because you better be ready, you better be brushed up on your shmup skills, because that's what the credits sequences in this game is. It's pretty much a top-down shooter. Which you need about 1.5 million points, but you can get it by like getting 3/4 of the way through the credits by shooting pretty much everything. And it's really easy to do. I practically mastered that. As long as I don't fuck up my movement and get hit and kind of throw myself off, I pretty much have that like nailed to the point where I'm like, yeah, I know I'll get it right here. But yeah, you get extra rewards by doing classic or doing the credit sequences, which is really nice because this game kind of rewards you for doing anything. What else? You do, when you unlock the Miis in World of Light, you get pretty much the default Mii as a playable character. So even if you create your own Miis, you'll always have that default Mii right there. So I right now have 3 of each Mii. I've got 1 male, 1 female, and the default for each of the 3 classes. I got to scan a bunch of amiibo stuff. What was it? There was something kind of weird. If you have the Squid Sisters or Off the Hook, you'll get a copy of the Spirit. Because you'll get Off the Hook or the Squid Sisters from one of the amiibo, but you can scan the other one to get a copy. There was something that counted as something that was weird. I think all the Inklings count as the same character. I think. But yeah, you can get spirits off the non-Smash Fighter amiibos. And if you have practically any Smash Fighter amiibo, it will count as that character. That's what it was. All of the Link amiibos count as Link from the Breath of the Wild series. They all count as Link, even though there's an Epona spirit, and I would think the writer Link would give you Epona. Technically. Also, if you have a trained up fighter from Smash Wii U, it will not transfer over. I think. I'm under the assumption it does, because it said that when I scanned any of the Smash amiibo I had, it said that it already had data on it, and it needed to erase it, so I don't think they'll carry over. So you have to start from scratch with your, what are they called? Your amiibo fighters?
Yeah.
There's a name in the game for it. I can't think of it. But yeah, you'll have to start from scratch. Otherwise, I dug it. It will take you probably 6 hours to unlock all the characters. Because you start from the bare bones basic roster from Smash 64. Not even the hidden characters. Just that roster of 8, I believe? It was 8, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
you start with 8. And between World of Light unlocks, which is the slowest way to do it, getting a challenger every 10 minutes. So if you play for 10 minutes and back out to the main menu, you will have another fight unlocked for you. beating classic mode with any character will get you another character. With any character will get you a certain character in a list. Like, just going down, there's pictures out there for it. It's that picture I linked you last week, I think. Like, it's just, it will take you like 6 hours or so, because it's 74 minus 8, that is like 60 some odd characters you have to unlock. It just takes forever to do so. Like, forever. I tried the online a little bit. It was alright. I'm not an real big online person outside of, oh look, there's a challenge board for a whole bunch of online stuff. Because we got challenges back, and essentially every mode has its own little like list of like 8 or so challenges, and every challenge gets you a reward. And if you unlock a number of panels, you'll get another hammer. Like, I don't know if there's a max number of hammers, but I'm at like 4 hammers and I haven't used one.
Huh.
So if there's one you don't think you'll be able to do, you can pretty much hammer it out, and I think you'll be okay. I'm trying to think what else. The spirits are kind of go really, really, really deep. I think there's a spirit for every major character from Splatoon. Well, besides the Inklings, like all the other surrounding cast members, there's pretty much a spirit for them. Interesting enough, there's only a spirit for each of the playable characters for Shovel Knight plus Shield Knight. So, Shovel Knight, Spectre Knight, Plague Knight, King Knight, and Shield Knight. Shantae and Risky are the last spirits in the list until you pick up, or outside of the Partner Pikachu and the Partner Eevee that got added. Those are technically the last ones on the list now. There's not much else. The spirit fights are kind of cool because they try to theme it around it, and if you know the source material, it pretty well fits. So I dig Smash. I'm enjoying it. Anything you're curious about?
Nah.
No. I don't have Link's remote bombs figured out that much, so I don't use them. Granted, I never use Link's bombs. I'm starting to use his boomerang more, mainly as I throw the boomerang out, let the AI dodge it, and just pull back an arrow being like, you're going to get hit from both sides now. Have fun. I actually do love doing that. Just sandwiching them between a boomerang and an arrow. So, shall we talk Game Awards? Just here's a whole bunch of things that got announced. We'll only probably talk about some of this stuff because honestly, I was looking through the first few things and there wasn't a whole lot there besides, hey, this is a thing. This is neat. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of go through some of this stuff and we'll just stop and talk about whatever is interesting to us. So starting things off, we had Sayonara Wild Hearts is announced for the Switch. I don't think it has a release date. Granted, I don't think many of these things have a release date because they were just teasers. Coming sometime in 2019. It was some neon kind of 80s looking thing from what I saw from the trailer. I didn't start watching the show until like after Reggie, Phil Spencer, and who was the Sony guy? Sean Layden. The three of them took to the stage and be like, video games, they're cool. Goodbye. But we also had Savage Planet. which honestly, I think it was some type of survival-looking game, kind of, sort of. It was just a CG teaser, so meh. Sailing Parables coming to consoles. Among Trees is another survival sandbox, yay. Most interesting for you and me, at least, considering we love the series, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is coming to the Switch! With gameplay! We even got gameplay from the looks of it.
Huh.
Yep. Pretty much, we're going to be doing the Black... It's called Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order, so... Hey, here's the Thanos-based story involving the Infinity Gauntlet and the gems and his cronies in the Black Order. Looks like our cast of characters is going to be a mix of Avengers, X-Men, Guardians, and practically Inhumans, so, like, anyone currently active in the Marvel Universe, really. They even showed off that there's, you'll have the normal camera angle that you expect for the Diablo-esque game, and a kind of more dynamic hero camera that pulls it closer to the ground and kind of behind the characters.
Huh.
The only kind of downside on this is this is going to be exclusive to the Switch.
Yes and no. I mean, it's a downside because you're gonna have people that only have the other consoles missing out on it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the Switch, even though Nintendo still doesn't want to admit it, really is kind of replacing the 3DS. And I could see this working more in a mobile setting.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's a good thing.
And also, surprising enough, even though it wasn't shown off in the trailer, Team Ninja's working on this. This is a Team Ninja game.
Huh.
Which is kind of a wow. And before anyone flips out about Other M, I will kindly remind you that the worst aspects of Other M, the story stuff, was on Nintendo's end of things, not Team Ninja. Just putting that out there. Any analysis of Other M has brought up that fact. That is a known thing.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I would venture to say they would want that to be a known thing, because any company that would have to hold the mantle of being responsible for the worst game in any series kind of would have to make sure that's well known.
Yeah. I believe it's actually one of the series creators, I forget his name. But that guy was the one he was the one solely responsible for the writing and the voice directing of the game. So if you wonder why Samus is monotone and sounds bored the entire fucking game, it's his fault. He's the one who did all the directing on that end. Even the localization part. So, yeah. Other M just needs to get thrown out. We also had Ancestors, The Humankind Odyssey, which, have you ever wanted to play as a caveman?
I can't really say that I have, but
Well, this game lets you play as a caveman. And a third-person game from the creator of Assassin's Creed. Yeah, it didn't look that interesting, to be honest.
that's
Coming
a whole
out
mixed
in
bag of thoughts on that one.
Coming out in conjunction with the Epic Game Store, we had Hades coming from the folks who did Transistor and Bastion. It's coming out in early access. Unfortunately, it's a roguelike with only like 2 levels, so there's not a whole lot of content there from what I've heard. But it looks cool. Far Cry has, I think, is technically a new game. Yes, the new game. Far Cry New Dawn, which goes, we kind of blew up the world in Far Cry 5. Well, time for Far Cry to have a post-apocalyptic adventure. I don't know what Far Cry is doing these days.
So now they're going to play into that, and then if it doesn't pan out too well, then we're going to be in Prequel City.
Probably.
No, that's the pattern for this. Mm-hmm. If this does good, they'll keep doing more like it. If this fails, they're going to go into Prequel City mode, and that's all we're going to get.
We had Scavengers announced with a CG trailer. It's a sci-fi co-op survival shooter. Yay! Don't care. Well, Crash Bandicoot got a remaster. Now we're getting Crash Team Racing as a remaster.
Who's doing it?
It doesn't say. Let me check the trailer. Beanox is the name I'm seeing on here in the trailer.
Huh.
That is not the team behind Crash Bandicoot, the Crash Bandicoot and Spyro remasters.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of asking, because if it was them, then good. But if it's not, it's like, I don't know.
It looks fine from the trailer we've gotten.
Okay, but here's the issue with remasters, and actually the prime reason why both the Crash and Spyro remasters went over as well. A lot of times remasters try to fix the stuff, and in turn cause more problems. Both Crash and Spyro's remasters, they tried to stay as true to the original material as possible. All the way down to, from what I saw of the Spyro Trilogy release speedrun race, they were still using the same tech that was already in play for the PS version. I mean, with a remaster, you're gonna expect some things not working like they used to, simply because of frame rate difference. But the sheer fact that that was capable with that remaster, that goes to show the reason why both of those went over so good. It is we're bringing it up to today's specs. That's why I'm kind of like, this one I don't know then.
Well, Dead by Daylight also got a new killer announced for those people who still play Dead by Daylight. Dauntless, which is a Monster Hunter S game, is coming to Switch, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4 and mobile next year. I believe it's free to play, which is probably the only advantage it has over Monster Hunter World.
Yep.
And the literally only advantage it has, because I believe Monster Hunter World is better in every conceivable other way. We got The Last Campfire coming from Hello Games. You know, the people who made No Man's Sky? Here's the thing about Last Campfire. It looks like a cute little 2D, like 2D, kind of 3D sometimes, little platformer game. Like, it actually looks like a game a studio the size of Hello Games would actually fucking make.
I think you could have stopped that sentence shorter and it still would have worked too. This actually looks like a game.
Yes.
Because let's be honest, No Man's Sky didn't.
Apparently, it's turned around in the last year or so.
But it's too late.
I know. It's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, it's turned around. Yeah, it's kind of beyond that point. Like, you have to really, really come back, like Warframe, hard, in order to win people back.
And
mainly because it'll be long enough that people will have forgotten that your game was bad to start with.
And I'm gonna say this too. As long as you got articles referring to them as the developer of No Man's Sky and don't leave that little detail out, the game's doomed. Because people are going to look at it and be like, No Man's Sky sucked at launch, why should we buy into this?
Yeah. You know how everyone loves Fallout New Vegas? It was done by Obsidian, and nobody likes Fallout 76, and that was done by Bethesda?
Uh-huh.
How would you like Obsidian to make a kind of Fallout game, kind of Borderlands-looking game in terms of aesthetic, and pretty much throw it in people's faces like, hey, we originally created Fallout. Hey, we made Fallout New Vegas. Here's what we're doing right now.
I could see it.
That would be the Outer Worlds, which actually looks pretty good. I don't think there's much gameplay here. I think it's a lot of cutscene stuff. But again, the first, or I believe the last couple lines of this trailer are literally Obsidian going, by the way, we all know you don't like Fallout 76 right now. How about you come play our game? Which I think is a whole next level. Damn. You do a really good game for them and they never call you back. Way to throw it back at them. I dig it. But it's coming PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One at some point. We didn't get a year. Plunkbat's getting a winter map. That's it. The boys at Ark Survival World or Survival Evolved are making a pirate game called Atlas, which I found hilarious because I was listening to Ty's stream, or I was watching the Game Awards through Ty's stream, and they were talking about how even the highest of ends of PCs buckle under the weight of Ark Survival Evolved. And now they're doing this massive multiplayer MMO pirate game.
To be fair, I feel like I've heard that too. I'm wanting to say that Ark kind of took the mantle that, for the longest, Crysis had.
I think it's also isn't it a 12 gig game, I think? It's some stupidly high number. I remember somebody in Ty's stream saying it.
But yeah, I'm wanting to say I've seen that somewhere where Ark basically has took the mantle that Crysis had, where if your game can play that, it can play pretty much anything.
Let's see. We also got The Pathless from the creators of Abzu. Essentially, do you remember, what is it? Ty said it today when he was streaming Tetris Effect. What is it? Not Luminous. Is it Luminous? That's not what I'm thinking of. Did you see Abzu when Ty streamed it?
I don't think so.
Crap. I know there's a game like it, but I can't think of it. It's really pretty. It's kind of a little quick 4-hour. Here, enjoy some visuals to kill 4 hours and just have some fun. But they're doing The Pathless, which looks kind of neat. I dig the art style of it. kind of exploring around, I think taking on these like weird elemental monster things with you and your bird buddy.
Huh.
It reminded me of like Breath of the Wild in kind of the loosest of senses. Which I forgot to mention this. You know the tower map we have from Breath of the Wild in Smash?
Yeah.
It is actually the first tower you awaken in Breath of the Wild.
Oh.
Because if you like turn the camera down, you can see the wall for the Great Plateau. You can see the first shrine you go to kind of off and to the left, and you can just barely see the opening to the Shrine of Resurrection. Which means that is literally the first tower you open in the game. Which I think is a neat touch. Let's see. Magic Arena doing a massive esports push, and I spotted Pro Jared in the trailer, and I was like, "Hi, Pro Jared. I wonder if you knew this was getting aired because I knew you were commentating the Game Awards." He's a big fan of Magic the Gathering, so I'm kind of not surprised. BioWare teased Dragon Age 4, and that was kind of it. So, yay! Psychonauts 2 got a trailer, and it's coming sometime next year. Yay! Mortal Kombat 11 got announced, and is also coming next year, April 23rd, actually. PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch.
Huh.
And for fun, here you get a pre-order bonus of Shao Kahn and a closed beta for Mortal Kombat 11. Yay!
Yay.
Okay, I don't know if this is legitimately a thing or not, but Stranger Things 3, the game? I guess? I thought this was just a thing to announce Season 3 of Stranger Things, but apparently this is a game, actually.
Huh.
So, PC, Switch, and Xbox One for those want to play a Stranger Things game.
Wait. Did you say PC, Switch, and Xbox One?
Yes.
Not PS4?
There was no PS4 listed.
That's rare.
Indubitably.
That was one of those when you said that, I was like, wait, no, surely he misspoke.
Nope. You can look at the last line of that article and see there is, in fact, no PlayStation 4 listing. Unless the article missed it.
Wow.
Which, I can check the end of the trailer. As the video reloads itself to resize. Appreciate that. Actually, there is no logos, so I guess there is no PS4 version.
Huh.
Rage 2 got a trailer, and it looks like a thing. Yay! And now, I'm going to be honest, the most important thing that I feel came out of the Game Awards, to put it out there, because Japan loves their fucking puns, and I know for certain that this was meant to be a double pun. The last surprise from the Game Award. A reveal that I'm pretty sure no one saw coming. We got our first DLC fighter for Smash. It will be Joker from Persona 5. I'm not kidding. This is literally DLC Fighter 1, and as Reggie said in the interview afterwards, this is a taste of what to expect from the Fighter Pass. So, yeah. Joker's here with a stage and music from Persona 5, most likely. I don't know if 3 and 4 will be in here, but at least Persona 5 will be here. I still cannot believe this is happening. Like, we are 2 weeks out from this, and I still can't believe that this is coming next year. Because I'm pretty sure the Piranha Plant is slated, I think, for what, January? I think January, February, somewhere around in there.
February, it might be.
Okay, February. So we'll probably get a date for Joker right around then. Because I have a feeling they're kind of chain these DLC announcements together. So, like, Piranha Plant's going to come out, and, like, not long afterwards, they'll have a release date for Joker. And then when Joker comes out, like, not that far from there, we'll get the second DLC fighter. Or, like, in between, we'll get the second DLC fighter. So it's kind of chained together over the course of the next year. Because, bear in mind, folks, the Fighter Pass is going through the next year at a minimum. Or at a technically a maximum. We might get all the fighters sooner than that. It just depends on development time. So yeah, how do you feel about the DLC Fighter Pass now? Now that, like, with Joker as number 1, practically everything's on the table now, as far as I'm concerned. Like, nothing's
making me think that we're probably gonna get something maybe not as far back of a throwback in terms of like how Pac-Man and Game & Watch is. Mm-hmm. But I'm starting to wonder if that might be where our throwback DLC character is going to come in from.
That wouldn't surprise me, because I wouldn't be surprised if they go super obscure and just be like, this one. It's like,
I'm not even saying they got to go back that far. Mm-hmm. Because from a technical standpoint, you could throw Banjo-Kazooie in there and still be able to consider it that far back.
Yeah. Because, like, again, it's like Joker kind of puts everybody on the table now, because Joker kind of broke the not really there, really, if you look to Sakurai in terms of how he views Smash. Unwritten rule of it has to be on a Nintendo platform to get into Smash. Like, we've long since thrown out that rule. Like, Joker broke it, but, like, technically Cloud broke it first. Only his franchise was on Nintendo consoles. He himself wasn't really on a Nintendo console unless you count Kingdom Hearts.
Or unless you count Chinese cartridges.
Oh yeah, right. Forgot about those D-makes. I forgot about the D-make. I forgot that John played that. That was Super Nintendo, wasn't it?
I think it was. I'm wanting to say it was.
But yeah, again, here, Joker breaks this. I mean, yeah, you can cite Persona Q2, which the Persona 5 cast is in, and that's on 3DS. But that's beside the point. Because this is very obviously proper, like, Persona 5 Joker and crew here in a Smash game. Because I'm pretty sure the final Smash will be the all-out attack, and see, like, at least the core members of the Phantom Thieves accompanying Joker in that attack. And considering they've shown that they're willing to add spirits into the game post-release, I would not be surprised that more cast members of Persona 5 get represented in spirits. Because I'm willing to bet all of the palette swaps for Joker for all of his costumes will reference the rest of the Phantom Thieves. I am willing to put money on that one. Because I don't see, like, why they wouldn't do that. Because if they don't, then the DLC characters don't really get to show up in the Spirit Board stuff, which kind of feels weird. I kind of would wish for confirmation on that just to be safe. But yeah, that's it. There's winners. If you want to go through that, I'm kind of like, there was stuff.
There was stuff.
Yep. So yeah, any thoughts on anything?
No, not really.
Alrighty then. Moving on. Well, Epic's decided that not only do we want to challenge Steam, do you want to make your game cross-platform? Because we're just going to give you the tools to do that. And most importantly, it will be free for all developers and will be open to all engines, all platforms, and all stores. So Epic's just going... Yep, except for Linux. Pretty much Epic's is going, yeah, all these tools we reuse to essentially make Fortnite playable on any goddamn thing, play on any goddamn thing, here you go. Have fun. That is cool that Epic is doing that. And I like that, hey, we're pushing more cross-platform stuff these days because that would be nice. It would be nice to just be like, alright, I own this game on this console, my friend owns this game on a different console, but we can still play together. So yeah, that's neat and cool. You know what's not neat and cool?
Our next article.
Pretty much. Street Fighter V is putting in-game advertisements for shit. Not only as ads on loading screens, but also as costumes to promote their Pro Tour and other bullshit. And as a bonus, if you turn them off, you get less in-game currency, making the game that is already grindy even worse. And you know what the kicker of all this is?
What?
Scroll down to the costume images. They look like shit. Like, it literally looks like they plastered the texture on the several parts of the costumes because they don't even look integrated that well. And is it just me or does this look like it's photoshopped?
Uh-huh.
Like, not so much on Akuma because there's at least lighting on there to show that it's kind of there, but like this Ryu versus Balrog image, like, if you told me that, like, this shit was photoshopped onto the image onto there, I believe you. Because it looks like it is. These look terrible. Why? Why? Just why? Why, Capcom? Why'd you make Street Fighter V worse? How do you keep making Street Fighter V worse? You know, I love how we can still say, oh yeah, Nintendo has this character and they're doing better work with them than fucking their original creators. Ryu's kind of getting better treated in Smash than he is in Street Fighter V right now. Hell, there's even a Street Fighter themed dungeon in World of Light, and it's cool. Because you literally go globe-trotting to various locations and fight, I think, the original cast of Street Fighter. And you end it all with unlocking Ryu. So, you remember that Sonic the Hedgehog movie?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a combo because you can see the other poster down below. We're getting posters for it. And yeah, they're certainly something. You know what the hilarious thing is?
What?
This stupid poster of Sonic's weird fucking legs made me actually go back to several different Sonic designs and figure out if he actually fucking wore socks or not with his shoes. Because I wasn't sure. And the answer is, maybe? I don't know. It depends on how you interpret one part of his design. Because he has these frilly cuffs that you can see at the top of his shoes. I don't know if that's supposed to be socks or some weird frilly cuff thing on the shoe. Because it kind of disappears and gets integrated into the shoe as just a white part of the shoe sometimes. So, I don't know. So, between this and the other poster, how you feeling about this live-action Sonic design? I can't help but for the other poster, the teaser poster we got, there's two things that I find hilarious that have stood out to me. One, the Sonic has no gloves. He just has hands with no gloves. Secondly, it looks like some dude wearing a Sonic head. It literally just looks like some dude wearing a Sonic head.
Perhaps because it is.
That would be hilarious. And be fitting. This movie's not going to turn out well. And it's hilarious to think that this has come after a Detective Pikachu trailer that looks good and like translate Pokemon designs kind of well into live action, mainly because it just takes them and just tries to make them work. So, yep. And finally, I just want to throw this in here because I want to see if you notice something about the aesthetic of this game. So, this is Ninjala. It is coming to Switch. And, you can just kind of play the trailer in the background and, I want you to tell me when you think you've recognized what this game is supposed to be. Because it's got ninja stuff. And whatnot. And yeah, this opening narration just takes fucking too long. But once you're past that and you see what I assume to be in-game footage, I hope so. What are you noticing? Doesn't it remind you of another game on the Switch?
Uh-huh.
For those that aren't making the connection, this is literally someone trying to do Splatoon. This literally looks like someone went, alright, let's take the Splatoon aesthetic, but let's do ninjas. And for those wondering, no, the people who made Splatoon is not on this. You know who is?
Who?
Gung Ho Online Entertainment, the ones responsible for Ragnarok Online, Let it die. Puzzles and Dragons? Kind of out of things on their list that would be even remotely recognizable. Oh, they did the Shin Megami Tensei mobile game. For all those people who probably only in Japan are using an emulator to actually play the damn thing, because it's only out in Japan. So, yeah. Also, this is their first Switch game, I believe. Unless they ported something.
Wow. So I might have screwed up.
What did you do?
Wow. So apparently I found a new key combination that I didn't know existed. I gotta fix that now. Holy freaking crap.
But yeah, I was surprised when I first saw that, and I just shook my head and went, "Someone's trying really hard here." And with nothing else to go on for this game, I don't know if it will turn out well. It probably won't, looking at who's making it and how much experience they have. But yeah, that's it for our articles this week. Nothing else really surprising. It's kind of the end of the year, so we're winding down. I think the only other thing I saw that was kind of interesting is that the RE2 remake that we're getting next year, like January of next year, it's about the size of RE7, which means I think it's bigger than the original RE2. I would think. Because RE7's fairly decently sized. I think it's bigger than RE2. So, granted, I think it looks good because it went, people really like RE4. What if we remade RE2 like RE4? Because that's actually a good idea. That is pretty much it. Shall we talk releases? As long as everything is functioning.
Yes, so.
Alright. Kicking off with the today, we've got Cluedo. You know the Clue game that John and them play?
Oh.
That might be cross-platform with the PC and the mobile version? Might be. I need to double check on that. But yeah, this is the Clue game with all the DLC that just goes, oh, you want to play as Scarlet from like the Wild West version? Yeah, you can just do that. Oh, you want your board to be this kind of board? Alright, that's cool. Like, you can just do that. You don't have to worry about what other people choose. That's just there for them locally. Like, there's a crap ton of DLC for the Clue board game that just goes, like, here's like Clue with like a vampire monster movie theme aesthetic, or Clue with a Hollywood aesthetic, or Clue with a spy thriller aesthetic. Just buy what you want. Have fun. Which I think is pretty cool. We got Firewatch for Switch, Hyper Ride Vector Raid, Coloro, or Coloro? I'm not sure on that one. Coloro, I'm just going with that. Mana Spark and Wondershot for Switch. On the 18th, tomorrow, we've got Cook Serve Delicious 2 for PlayStation 4, Donut Country for Xbox One and Switch, London Detective Mystery or Mysteria for Vita, Shadow of the Tomb Raider: The Pillar for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Sheltered for Switch, Soul Calibur 6 2B, the main character from Nier Automata as a new DLC for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and Warhammer Vermintide 2 back to Herberschrick? I want to say that's German. For Xbox One and PlayStation 4. We also got, coming on the 19th, R-Type Dimension EX for PlayStation 4 and Raised for PlayStation 4 and Switch. On the 20th, we just have a shit ton of Switch releases with Battle Princess Madeline, Bring Them Home, Cake Laboratory, Chronos Ace, Fungi Explosion, Guess the Character, Horizon Shift 81, Kingmaker Rise to the Throne, Leopoldo Manquisel, Nightshade, Revertia, The Keep, Vivetti, and Worldwide Adventure Collection.
Also, Battle Princess Madeline is PS4, not Switch.
Oh, well, shit. My bad. Battle Princess Madeline is PlayStation 4, not Switch. Fuck. The one PlayStation 4 release mixed in with all the other Switch shit. Look. Coming on the 21st, we have As Divine Hearts 2 for Xbox One, Cloud and Sheep 2 for Switch, Dynamite Fishing World Games for Switch, Marvel Spider-Man Silver Lining DLC for PlayStation 4, the last bit of Spider-Man DLC, Rain World for PlayStation 4, Sundered Eldritch Edition for Xbox One and Switch, and Windjammers for Switch. On the 23rd, we have Mech Raid for Switch. And on the 24th, actually a whole bunch of Switch games as I actually look ahead and make sure that that is the case before I say it. We have Arrow Complete Edition for Switch, Black Sea Odyssey, Digger Man, Omega Strike, Pipe Plush Paradise, Superhero Fight Club Reloaded, and Super Treasure Arena. On the 25th, we have Abyss for Switch, Kingdom Hearts, the VR Experience for PlayStation 4, Odium to the Core for Switch, and Uncanny Valley for Switch. And finally, on the 27th, we have Del Garate no Rashiban for Switch, Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme Legends Complete Edition for Switch, and Revenge of the Bird King for Switch. So, yeah, a whole bunch of Switch stuff for those interested.
Yep.
Which takes us to quick draws, and mine will actually go to the fact that Friday, my new computer will be here. My wonderful new first time ever having an actual desktop computer that I can call my own computer. that I hope has everything it's supposed to have, because that GTX 1050 with 6 gigs on my order page it says it's a 1050 with 2 gigs. I'm gonna be a bit upset if it's the wrong card, because it will mean I probably need to go swap out the cards on it. But yeah, with this new computer, I will also have like a new permanent dual monitor setup, which means like a better streaming experience on my end, because I will have more space for stuff. And also, I can practically run anything PC-wise on it. Practically speaking. Because I hit up, can you run it? Yeah, because I hit up, can you run it? And I checked their, top 100 games. And saw, what it was. And it's it will run 99% of games on minimum and about 86% on recommended. Which, that's fine. I'll take those numbers. As soon as I slam another 8 gigs in there, it will probably be nice and even out. Because right now, that computer will have the same amount of RAM as my current laptop has. So if I slam another 8 gigs in there, it should never have to worry about RAM. Shouldn't. Hopefully. But yeah, I'm excited! Outside of the fact that I have to reinstall everything. Or install everything I use on my laptop on it. Which will take, like, 2 days probably to do everything. Which is the sucky part.
Yep.
But oh well. It's what I get. But yeah, that's it for me. Geo's not sub, so I can't bitch about Geo outside the fact of Zogo got his ass handed to him from the clips I saw. Good. Also, we had 0.5 episode that I did watch the sub of from last week, where Tsukasa once more proves he is the one person in this show with the most character, even on an actor end. Also, I must give him props for flipping that script the entire fucking episode and not dropping it once. And bear in mind, there's probably no cuts for him. So he's just doing that every time. The only time he gets a chance to not have that happen is if it cuts away to someone else. Although I do know that apparently this week's 0.5 episode teased Kamen Rider Tsukiyomi as a joke, which I find hilarious because Tsukiyomi is listed in the driver. And also, apparently, next week's 0.5 episode is going to be the last 0.5 episode.
Well,
so
that means next week, Geo ends.
Next week, we run out of good material outside of Tsukasa, who, again, I say, is like the best part of Geo right now. Because, once more, he gets to be a charismatic asshole. And he sells it well.
Like I said, the 0.5 is in next week. That means next week's the last episode of Geo. Then we get stuck with whatever is taking over the name.
Yeah. Also, apparently, Kamen Rider Waz, which I don't think I've shown you the image of the suit for Waz.
I don't think you have.
Let me pull that up real quick. Because I found out a thing about this that makes me go, oh no. Come on. Oh, I don't need a video talking about this. I just want the image. Because we also get an image of Waz in a new costume with not his book. Instead, kind of a book like Tsukiyomi has, because it's more tech-based. Apparently, we're getting a second version of Waz when this Waz debuts. Which may or may not mean that there are two Wazes in the show when this comes about. I'm not sure on that part. There we go.
So, if that's the case, then my thought could still happen.
Essentially,
Holy
a
crap.
Waz.
This show is trying to create a time paradox.
Hasn't it already created a time paradox?
Kind of.
I'm pretty sure this show has created a time paradox at some point.
On a grand scheme, no. On a week-to-week scheme, yes.
Okay. Also, does this suit remind you of anyone from recent Rider?
Uh-huh.
Hi, totally not Necrom.
Glad to see they just reused them pieces.
Well, it also doesn't help that they reuse... I don't think they reuse pieces, but they've at least reused the color scheme mainly. Except it's a brighter green. Because, yeah, that's a brighter green than Necrom. But yeah, this is Waz with his new book. And I guess totally not trying to make Sogo into an evil Time King? Maybe? I'm not sure on that point.
But, okay, so I've got a question then. Was we have kind of established is essentially Time God. He kind of exists outside of the normal timeline.
Probably.
That's how it's been established in the show.
Okay.
So if he exists outside of time, then how?
I don't know. All I know is from this week, apparently, like, evil Geo from the future has told Sogo, throw away the belt. Walk away. And I just go, aren't you killing yourself? Don't you need him to keep the belt? Unless throwing the belt away is what leads him to become... I'm confused. Also, apparently...
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Thought. It could run a different way. Let's say Omageo is Soga. What if it's a case of it's Sogo, but Waz kind of has him manipulated to do these things, and that's why he said that.
Apparently, because apparently in this week's episode, they kind of made it confirmed because Omageo has the same dream that Sogo has about why he wants to become a king, which is apparently some guy dressed in black told him to do it when a monster attacked. Which is one of those, wow, this is absolutely nothing.
And
you told some kid.
Doesn't explain that that's actually Sogo in the Omageo suit. Because Waz seems to know everything that happens.
Well, yeah.
So Waz would know that same information if that was him?
Yeah. I mean, we got to kind of see Omageo untransformed, and all it really told us is, oh, the suit actor for all of the main writers for like years is currently playing Omageo. I mean, we assume that the figure is kind of like masked or kind of like hidden, but there are telltale signs that it's him, which means nothing outside of that's neat.
Yeah, this is like total crap.
Also, apparently Omageo just needs to click on the watches and then he can just use shit from that rider. Like, he just uses a destruction glyph from Kuga. He just reverses the bat stack that Sogo tries to use from Kiva with the Hay Saber onto him. And also, he can just summon Drag Reader with Ryuki. Which feels like a... Wouldn't you summon an evil version of Drag Reader?
That almost sounds more along the lines of how another riders are done.
Yeah, because he's using the actual ride watches.
Okay, another build was using actual full models that he was creating himself.
I know.
So
I know. I just figured I'd point that out in case anyone.
That too.
Yeah, I just figured I'd point that out of like.
And say this was Waz's plan, and that is Waz. By telling Sogo to throw away the belt, that would give him the prime opening to step in and be Geo. Under the what we know of as another Geo.
Yep. But yeah, he just clicks them on. He just turns it, clicks it on, and then he just gets to use it. Doesn't even slam them in the belt.
Yeah, that's what's making me think this sounds more like it's another rider, not actual Geo kind of deal.
Well, it doesn't help that another Geo kind of fits the overall aesthetic of the Another Riders. Like, he's not as monstrous, but you could put him with the other Another Rider, he'd match.
Well, okay, you say that, but what is our monsters? The Another Riders, and the respective enemies from that show.
Mm-hmm.
In order to beat them, he has to use their powers too. So, having a gold Geo could make sense for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those, it's either that or it's an amalgamation of all 20 riders in one suit, and that would look like crap.
Yeah, especially considering they didn't get to Kuga right. Since Kuga is some big giant hollow monster. It's like, could you not essentially take Ultimate Kuga and corrupt it? Because that's what another Kuga would be. Like, literally that's what another Kuga should be. It's just, you take Ultimate Kuga and you corrupt it into something that looks more akin to the Grongi. Or you take Indagva Zeba as a base and just like incorporate Kuga designs into it. Like, do that. That would look way better than this giant CGI mess that looks terrible. And is like the worst Another Rider design we've gotten so far. Although, we also found out that, you know how Deno has the Denliner, which is his time-traveling subway train that lets him travel through time?
Yeah.
Another Deno has another Denliner, which is a Denliner that looks more like another Deno. So,
but that just causes all kinds of another time paradox. Because at that point, that would put another Deno as technically immortal. Because, oh, Geo's gonna go back to when I first started. Oh, I'll just go back before I was first started.
Well, if he has the power set of Deno, he's technically a singularity point, so he can't be affected by time travel. Because...
But what I'm saying is, even if you ignore that fact...
Yeah.
If Sogo goes back to the point where another Deno was created, all another Deno would have to do is go, like, 2 minutes before that.
Yep.
It would be a never-ending cycle.
Which, again, just have to point this out. Deno is a singularity point. Well, Ryutaro... is it Ryutaro? Or Ryuto? I think it's Ryuto. I forget Deno's actual name. But he's a singularity point in the context of Deno, meaning he can't be affected by time travel. You would literally have to kill him at an early point in his timeline in order to actually get rid of him. Which is literally the plot of Deno's solo movie. Like, you can't get rid of him via time travel. You can't erase him from time unless you literally kill him. Because he can't be affected by time. Because he's a singularity point. Like, they copped out on Hana in the series because they had some like thing with her talent agency, so they had to hire a younger actor, so they had to do some muckery with her singularity point status in order to get her to a younger age. But you have to have a caveat in there somewhere to actually make him affected by time travel, which I think they're kind of ignoring that fact and just going, oh, Molotaros is Deno, so I guess he can be affected now.
I feel like this idea worked until they got to Deno, and then it's like, oh. Welp.
Well, there's that.
This.
I mean, there's that. There's, if you take, was it Kamen Rider Yongo at face value, technically Tamari can't be affected by time travel because ship cars. kind of, sort of. I don't know. They never explained why the 5 signal bike never affected Kiriko and prevented her from like being changed into her her alternate timeline self. So like, that's a thing of the rest of the tech, or just some stupid bullshit. Like, I don't know. Like, I think if I remember Shinta's review, there's a couple other riders who were affected by time shenanigans because of their power set. Like, technically speaking, they wouldn't be because they've demonstrated that. I think Koto would technically be immune to this as well because,
well, okay,
fucking god status that says no.
We did kind of see that though.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to give them props for that. We did kind of see them acknowledge the fact that, he is kind of a god. Time shenanigans aren't really going to work too great on him.
Yeah. He resisted it.
Yeah.
Which, like, that whole situation makes me go, like, where do these watches come from? And how are they able to pull all of this bullshit just by being activated? Like, these are the most powerful trinkets that this franchise has ever fucking had, because literally with a push of a button, boop, you're out of existence now.
We think. The reason I say that is because I almost wonder. We know the writers have at least a little bit of a knowledge as to what's going on because we saw that with the build episode.
Yeah.
I have to wonder if they think there's a bigger plot and they're just kind of going along with they don't have their memories afterwards.
Yeah. Because there is another decade. But Tsukasa had the decade Rai watch. But he's himself.
Yeah.
Like, fully himself. And is fully able to fight his decade. Which means the proper Rai watches can't be negating them. Because if that's the case,
then
why the fuck is Tsukasa still around?
Yeah.
Like, why is Decade still here? Is it just because he's immune to this shit? Because, like, he exists, he's a multi-dimensional being, kind of? Like, fuck you? Is that what it comes down to?
If that's the case, then Kota should have full immunity.
Yeah.
That's why I'm feeling like, okay, they're realizing something's wrong. So they're kind of just playing dumb.
Yeah.
Because for the most part, they've all had interactions with Sogo.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't surprise me if Waz truly is Omagio, that we don't find out that each of them also had an interaction with Waz. Where he told them, hey, there's gonna be this kid that's gonna try to give you a ride watch, just act dumb around him.
Just play dumb. We've done this before. Weren't those plans terrible ideas to start with? Well, yes, but it will be fine this time. Because it just reminds me of all the dumb dumb superhero Tyson films. Because that's literally one of these plots.
Like that's how I'm foreseeing this playing out, and then when all of them realize the crap's hit the fan, that's probably going to be the point where we get the final form for Geo.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, I feel like that's where they're heading with it.
You know what's sad? Lupat's only got like probably a month or so left. Alright, no, it's got like 2 months left because Ryu Ranger is... Yeah, Ryu Ranger's debuting in March. Which means if Rearranger is bad, that's double bad Toku. So you know what I'm going to watch weekly? I'm going to go watch Spider-Man. You know what? Let's go find out how Toei's take on Spider-Man was. I'll watch that instead of watching a bad Sentai series and try to wrap my head around a bad writer series that I'm only watching to see how far down this stupid time bullshit rabbit hole goes. But I still don't understand how the show can be considered good, because it really isn't. Like, it's bad. It's just bad. It's like, the summary I told you pre-show. Like, you can literally sum up about every episode of Geo till now with this week's episode. Like, in this manner.
Yeah.
Because, like, now Sogo has a backstory. Except it's kind of stupid because it's like, you told some 5-year-old kid to go be a king. And apparently he held on to that. And I'm like, why? Like, who are you? Like, is it supposed to be this weird, like, time loop where that's an older Sogo telling younger Sogo, hey, go be a king. Go be me. So help me, if it's a fucking time loop, I'm fucking done.
Well, like I said, if Waz is Omagio, I could see it actually being him doing it.
Honestly, I would just, if you're gonna do, like, some type of, like, big, long loop of time, I would rather, like, the last fight of the series be Geo fighting, like, super evil Omagio through the era, and being helped by every single Heisei writer along the way.
Yep, but we won't get that.
Because that would be cool! Of, like, they keep traveling to different times, and every time the fight happens, just that writer of that time period hops in and helps. And every time Omagio keeps running forward in time, there's another writer, another, and he can't isolate Geo. Like, by the end, he thinks he has it because there's no writers. But then Tsukasa just shows up being like, yo, I brought everybody. Because I would love for the fact of Tsukasa just to continue being an asshole and just being like, hey, I'm still here. I just want him to be a regular, because then I'll have someone to be like, at least you're here. At least you're making the show fun.
Yeah, he needs to be a regular. Although, you know, I just thought of something else.
What?
They've gave Tsukasa's dimensional portals time travel.
Yeah, I saw that, and I'm like,
who's to say that it wasn't Tsukasa going back through telling the other riders? He's clearly met everyone up to Geo.
yeah.
Otherwise, he wouldn't have the ghost card.
Or the build card that he has this week.
So he's had interactions with them. And we know his cards don't steal their powers.
Yeah, they just copy him.
So it's one of those, it's like, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, I just want Kazu to stick around to be like, yo, I pulled a long gambit on you. What up? I turn out to be the real hero. I've taken over main writer role in this show and turned this into Decade 2 by the end.
Well, I love the fact that his reaction every time he doesn't immediately hop into battle has been, I've about got them figured out. It's like, yeah, you know exactly what you're doing. That's just your excuse.
Yep. Because, once more, I just want to point out the fact that I think Tsukasa might be the smartest person in the show. It was just like, alright, I'll do whatever. Because I'm like, none of the time travelers think to be like, what if we made another decade?
Yeah, the only other person that could use every other rider's powers.
Yeah, which probably means we'll never get another decade. Which makes me sad.
Well, and I'm sorry too. The time jackers are going about this completely backwards. Let's steal each individual's rider powers to make another rider because they're gonna be king. If you're trying to take down Geo, wouldn't it be smart to just make another Geo?
Or, I don't know, go to these other riders and be like, hey, help? Like, why not recruit an army of riders? And go, hey, you want to help? Because, I'm sure one of you can beat him. And if we put enough of you in front of him, you can probably beat him.
But no, instead we're empowering Geo because we're doing this completely backwards.
I think that'll be pretty much it for this week. I might be doing both Wednesday and Thursday streams this week. At the very least, Wednesday. What is Wednesday? When did I say Silver Lining came out?
I don't remember.
Let me look real quick. So if it's past Wednesday or Thursday, because I think it's. Let me look. If Silver Lining comes out later in the week, I'll probably be starting the Spider-Man DLC next week. If not, we'll start it this week. Because I want to kind of roll them together, because they kind of can both be knocked out at the same time, just about. Wednesday, actually. You know what? We'll do... Or no, Thursday. Right. Yeah, that's Thursday. I'll do Spider-Man DLC Thursday. And Wednesday... I don't know. Might be Paper Mario, might be just something else. I don't know. But anything in particular you're doing?
Definitely Thursday we'll be doing the round 1 matches over on Battle Saloon for the Amiibo tournament.
Alright.
Might do Wednesday and Thursday, I don't know. If I don't, it'll probably be Thursday and then Sunday for the 2 round 1 matches.
Alright.
But other than that, yeah, I think till the end of the week. About it for us, anyhow. Because obviously Slow Tour tomorrow.
Yep. And then whatever you plan on having us do for Rampant Gaming Saturday.
And whatever we decide to do for Friday.
Yep. Yeah, I guess look forward to all that stuff later this week, and we'll see you then, folks.